When it comes to making decisions,
sometimes you hit the rocks.
In this video, I'll be looking at multiple Sopranos characters and discussing what I think their worst decision was.
What are you talking about, meetings?
Raymond, Larry, that sneak from Manhattan, his mohair suits and his shoe lifts.
Suits? Pleurisy?
Junior Soprano? I think his worst decision was when he decided to make a move on Tony in season 1.
Anthony wants to play games, okay. I taught him games.
He ordered a hit on his own nephew. As we know, the hit was unsuccessful, and it didn't take Tony long to realize who was behind it. So now both the feds and Tony are going after Junior, and the feds happened to get there sooner. But Junior was never truly free after that. And going after Tony sure didn't help his situation.
Now, as far as the rest of everything that Junior owned, it's now mine.
When Christopher decided to use heroin in Italy,
no more distractions. Focus. No drugs. Eye on the prize.
home of his ancestors, where he was so excited to go, he was determined to see that fucking crater, remember? But then something else got in the way, or rather, he chose to put something else in the way. And we see all that led to from there. When Adriana decided to forgive Christopher, take him back, and accept his marriage proposal, that really sealed her fate, in my opinion.
But when you get hurt next time, this door is close to you.
Christopher knew just what to do to bring her back in.
That ring, believe it or not, it's got this kind of like weird power.
My mom had this kind of extensive record collection. Caruso, Robert Merrill. Many of them were in mint condition.
Janice decides to get back at Svetlana for refusing to give back Livia's records that Svetlana says Livia gave to her before she died, by stealing Svetlana's prosthetic leg in the middle of the night.
Janice!
It was petty, vindictive, and a deeply Janice thing to do, and it backfired, as we see.
I can't drive. And they broke 3 ribs.
What did I tell you? I told you not to mess with those people.
Dr. Melfi decides to take Tony back as a patient in season 2, after previously telling him to get out of her life. Even while calling him to invite him back, she has to have a glass of wine with her. So they have a total of 7 years together, when really it should have ended much sooner.
It's Dr. Melfi.
Yes, so?
I tried your other number. If you want, I could fit you in tomorrow. So do I put you down?
Don't be moving that H no more, puss. It's too risky.
Don't be moving that H no more, puss. It's too risky. As we know, he kept moving it. It's not like he didn't have fair warning. This wasn't one strike and you're out. They obviously found out about the H one way or another, and then told him to stop, and that if he's in desperate need of money, the acting boss can help him out. But I guess he wanted that other house by the ocean.
You are gonna help us build a case against Tony Soprano. And then you're gonna go do your time for selling heroin.
You ought to see Terry's bills from Villanova. And Matt and Kevin right behind him.
Hey, Sal, you need money, you come to me. You hear what I'm saying?
Don't be moving that H no more, puss. It's too risky.
When Paulie runs his mouth to Johnny Sack, and then has the nerve to run his mouth to Carmine himself.
Was you told him, right?
While it didn't get him killed, it almost got a few others killed.
I want you to sanction the hit on Ralph Cifaretto.
And he ended up making quite an ass and quite an embarrassment of himself at the end of the day.
So listen, about all this stuff that's going on.
What's your name again?
Paulie Altieri.
Your father was run over by a trolley, right?
Johnny talked to you about me, right?
Johnny who?
I think Silvio Dante's worst decision was keeping his gun in the glove compartment that day. It was one of Sil's few slip-ups, and it got him ambushed. In that world, you can't afford a second of carelessness. What good is a gun in a glove compartment if someone has a gun in their hand right now?
Yeah, that's them there.
By the time we get to season 6, Junior's dementia has gotten pretty bad. Even in the prior season, we had him leaving the house and wandering around Newark looking for his brother Johnny Boy Soprano. There was the in-home care until everything blew up with Whitecaps. So after that, Bobby pretty much became Junior's only real caretaker. And it didn't do Junior any favors, keeping him at home. But when Janice brings up assisted living at the beginning of season 6, Tony's dead set against it because he so deeply internalized everything from Livia, all the shit she gave him about sending her to Green Grove, even though it was the nicest retirement community in the state. And then Junior shot him, nearly fatally. Not only did Junior shoot him, but then Junior ends up being institutionalized anyway.
How's he doing?
He's Knucklehead Smith. That's how he's doing.
The man is not competent, Tony.
Not again, Janice. Come on.
And he has the money for assisted living.
You remember what they did to Ma?
She was thriving there, Tony.
He stays where he is, Janice. He's our uncle. It's the least we can do.
Bobby Baccalieri's worst decision? Leaving his phone in the car. A small moment, but a huge mistake. It cost him his life. Still couldn't get the word to him to lay low, because it was his phone that was laying low in his car.
Still, it's nice to think that. Imagine, riding in that club car, sipping on a Negroni.
Oh, what, not even a hello? Oh, that's nice. Very nice.
Killing Tracy. Cruel beyond cruel. I think from that moment, Tony knew that Ralph had to go. It was just a matter of when. We saw it up close and personal for ourselves. After Ralph made this decision, while he may not have suffered the short-term consequences because, as we know, a couple episodes later he gets promoted to captain, it's really only a matter of when, in terms of how long Tony's going to be able to put up with him.
It's a boy. We'll name him after me. It's a girl, we'll name her Tracy after you.
When Richie determined that Tony had to go, that was when Richie determined and sealed his own fate.
I'm under indictment.
Sorry, Junior, I don't want to rip open no wounds, but you and I both know he's got to go.
Let me tell you who's not a good kid. That niece of mine.
And he really sealed his own fate when he decided to hit Janice.
What difference does it make?
Word to the wise, that's all I'm saying.
You know, I was there last night for dinner.
I couldn't go.
My cousin Keiki, after he had his lobotomy, he looked exactly like my son. Empty, a shell. Better Keiki had died than go on living like that. That's what his own mother always used to say.
Livia. What do I think her worst decision was? Trying to kill Tony. It wasn't successful, and all it did was further alienate her. So she didn't end up getting the attention that she wanted, and she was now further isolated from the whole family. I don't think that she feels any sense of contentment right now.
She thinks I should have a DNR?
Or that Dad should give it to you or something.
Even though Livia had been psychologically toxic with Tony for quite a while, he still tried to please her and do what he could to make her life better. But after she tried to kill him, after he heard his mother on tape herself talking about it, things were not going to be the same.
If anything happens to me... Hello? Hello?
I might as well tell you. I decided on Columbia.
Oh! Any word from your Ivy Leaguer? And how's Calm with the empty nest?
What empty? Every 5 minutes, Meadow's home with a laundry bag or she's hauling food out.
I think one of the decisions that she made that was perhaps most regrettable was the decision to stay close to home for college. I do think that if she had given herself a chance, a little bit farther away, not just with Finn or with a guy, but by herself, really getting a chance to start fresh, she may have enjoyed that, and it may have kept her from some of the less enjoyable, less pleasant parts of college for her.
Jackie is dead, and you perseverate on secondary school.
Look at who his father was. Look at everybody we know.
You're too young to be so tired.
They sent me to a psychiatrist all morning. Dad goes.
He does not.
When he slips it to Livia that Tony was seeing a psychiatrist. Now, we know that he didn't purposely tell Livia because he thought that Livia was going to freak out. It just slipped out, as it would from a child. But whether or not he knew, what was going to come of that.
He's seeing a psychiatrist, for Christ's sake. Indictment's being prepared. He's spilling his guts.
You talking about clipping him?
Nobody would slap my wrist if I did.
Vito's decision to go back to New Jersey after getting out of there alive the first time. And that's not to say, oh, he had to stay with Jim, but it was like either Jim or back home. One extreme to the other. No space for anything in between. And I think that Vito should have at least given himself some more space, some more time before turning right back around. But I'm sure it was difficult and not an easy thing for Vito. He had left behind his family. He'd left his life behind. Going back, he lost his life entirely. We don't actually meet the character Patsy Parisi until the end of season 2, but we do meet his twin brother, Philly, in the season 2 premiere. They're played by the same actor, Dan Grimaldi. Philly talks to Gigi about Tony's current issues, including the rumor that he went to Livia's nursing home and tried to suffocate his own mother. Oh, and he's seeing a psychiatrist too, running his mouth and talking himself right into his own death. Theoretically speaking, Patsy would have been around during this time, or at the very least, been able to get in touch with his brother to advise him on how to better handle this. They were very, very close, according to Patsy, so it shouldn't have been too hard to communicate. Whatever Patsy did, he stayed alive.
So, how are things going over there, with our friend?
No, the same, He's still breaking my balls though about taking orders from me.
Now, when it comes to Gigi, I'm not saying that Gigi was a perfect person. There's a lot that we didn't get to know about him. But when I think of Gigi and I think of mistakes, I think more of Tony and his mistake of putting Gigi in as captain over Ralph in the first place.
A good kid, but you never should have put Gigi in there.
Strong, good earner, well respected.
Not by that crew.
It's free on deal. We're in the middle of a major renovation at the house. I got 2 kids getting ready for college, so it's...
Hey, hang in there.
You got a problem.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it.
Working on what?
Now, besides Big Puss, I'm going to keep the other DeMeo rats kind of together in one category because I think it can be said that their worst decision was deciding to flip. Maybe it was making the decision that got them caught, that forced them to have to flip, or that led them to flip, but either way, this was the ultimate bad decision. Minus for Ray Curto. For him, he just sort of dropped dead, not having anything to do with flipping.
Depressed and what?
Depressed and ashamed. So what about my Alan Stewart shirt from that meeting? Ralph Cifaretto spilt my coffee and ruined it.
I can petty cash it.
Everybody's worried.
No, I am worried all the time.
Now for Carmela, I'm going to switch it up a bit. Each time she looked away, justified, played dumb or stayed silent, it was like death by 1,000 compromises. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video on what I see as many of the Sopranos characters' worst decisions. What about you? What do you think? Plus, stay tuned for part 2, where we switch over to the Lupertazzi family.